Hi, my name is Lori Boardman. Welcome to my kitchen for week 2 of the competition appetizers. The appetizer I'm going to prepare for you this evening I call Muscadine balls. And where I'm from in southeast Missouri, it's just not a party till somebody brings a cheese ball. So this is my twist on the old recipe, the Great American Cheese Ball. And the first twist on this recipe, and thus the title, is the use of a Muscadine hot sauce. This may be an ingredient that you've never heard of. My first encounter with Muscadine hot sauce was a couple of Christmases ago. I got a gift basket from my mother and father-in-law who live in southern Mississippi. And the gift basket featured items that were grown locally in their area, and one of those things was a Muscadine hot sauce. This is not your traditional red pepper hot sauce. It's actually made from muscadine grapes, and when we start working with the recipe, you'll see that it has a really thick consistency, almost like a honey. This is from that farm in southern Mississippi, the one that I originally had from my mother-in-law, and this is one that I ordered from a winery in North Carolina on the internet. So I didn't hesitate in using a recipe that contained this ingredient, even though you may not see it on your local grocery shelves with the internet and when you travel to different areas. It's just something you can look for. I think you'll enjoy it. My mother-in-law said when she gave it to me, "Lori, I'm not sure what you're going to do with that." But the first taste I had, I said, I'm not sure either, but it's going to involve cream cheese. And I think you'll agree if you try the recipe, the combination of the sweet heat in this muscadine sauce with Philadelphia cream cheese, in my opinion, is just a perfect pairing. So we'll get started with the ingredients. I'm going to start with a block of Philadelphia cream cheese at room temperature, just so it's easier to mix up the ingredients. We're going to take our muscadine hot sauce, and again, you'll see the consistency. And you'll see some of the peppers in it. And again, like I said, this is a sweet heat. You're going to taste that sweet when you first try it, and then that heat's going to hit in the back of the mouth, and it is really a pleasant experience. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of the muscadine hot sauce with the cream cheese. We're going to put 1/4 of a cup of diced dried cranberries, again giving this a little bit of a sweet flavor. The dried cranberries were one of the ingredients I tried with the muscadine sauce, and I thought they went really well together. Real important part of this recipe is this is just kosher salt, and give it a good pinch. That just brings all of the flavors together. We're going to put in this is grated sharp cheddar cheese. This is a 1/4 cup. We're going to add that to the cream cheese. And then our 4th ingredient we're not going to mix in. Our 4th ingredient, I've taken walnuts, chopped them up. I put them on the stove in a small skillet and toasted them for about a minute or a minute and a half. As soon as you start to smell that nutty flavor, go ahead and remove them from the heat. And be sure and not walk off and leave this because they will burn very quickly. We're going to use that to coat our cream cheese balls. So we're just going to mix this together. When I get it all mixed together, I'll show you that it's a very pretty recipe in my opinion. It has lots of colors. You want to make sure you get everything mixed in there together well, because you want to have a bite of every flavor in these. My second twist on this recipe, instead of doing the traditional cheese ball, that's just one cheese ball on a platter, I'm going to make these into bite-sized cheese balls. It's a nice twist. I like anything that's bite-sized on a buffet, and then that's where I came up with my title, because these are just going to be a little bit bigger than a shooter marble, and so that's where I came up with the title Muscadine balls. So got the ingredients all mixed together, and we're going to make a couple up here. Just going to take a pinch. Now if this is too messy at this point because you had it at room temperature to mix it well, you can set it back in the fridge for 10-15 minutes, and it might be easier to work with. The other thing about this recipe that I really like, if you want to make this the day ahead before you're going to serve it, the longer these ingredients sit together in the refrigerator, the more those flavors are going to meld and the better your cheese balls are going to be. So we're just going to toss those very quickly in our toasted walnuts. That's all there is to the recipe. You have muscadine balls. Since this was such an easy recipe to make and such a quick recipe to prepare, I thought it would take time to talk a little bit about what I did to set up my presentation for this simple recipe. I put a lot of thought and time into vegetables and fruit that would complement the flavor of the muscadine balls. And I have here some peppers, celery, grapes, strawberries. I also put a lot of thought into the color combination that I would put on the platter, because with just a little bit of extra effort you can take something really simple and make it very dramatic. And I like the color here. I have it on a 3-tier stand that would give my buffet some height. Height on a buffet is very important. I did the same thing with the crackers. I thought about the flavors that would go well with the muscadine balls. I wanted to make sure I used some different shapes and some different colors to give some variation to that platter as well. And of course here we have the star of the show, the muscadine balls. At the very first of the video, my husband shot a close-up of a title card giving the name of the recipe. That wasn't just for the video. If I were going to have this out at a buffet at my house, I'm going to do a title card if I've got a recipe for an appetizer called muscadine balls. It is a perfect icebreaker. It's a good conversation starter. You put that title out there and let people start guessing what on earth is a muscadine ball. So that's just a little bit of fun. We had fun naming it. We want to make sure we give attention to it on the buffet. The other thing that you saw on the presentation are these little bamboo forks. These were a tag sale find. I think I got 3 boxes for $1. It was the find of the century. I'm always looking for little things like this that will just make my buffet different and unique. Again, just little conversation starters. So when somebody comes through, they've seen the title, it's unique, they've got a fun little fork to play with, they get their muscadine ball, they get a fruit or a veggie, they get their crackers, you've got a cheese ball, you've got a party. Enjoy.